Hello and welcome to Stockwatch, presented by me, Evan Lucas, for Go Market Securities. As always, please, a very good read through of the disclaimer on screen. Everything in this video is general in nature, none of which relied upon as any form of personal advice. Go Market Securities does not know your personal scenario, nor your personal financial goals, and therefore none of which relied upon as any form of advice at all. It is just general in nature only. Review of upcoming earnings season for materials, and I'm just going to concentrate on the bulks here. I'll do sort of the more rare earths and those kind of specialized spaces at another video, but let's look at what is needing to be really pushed out here. Coal, iron ore, copper, those bulks that really make up the driving force of most of the industry firms that are involved in this space. BHP and Rio have done relatively well through the financial year. It needs to be put out there quite clearly. The fact that it's remained for iron ore above $100 a ton, and then when you repatriate it back into Aussie dollar terms, not in US dollar terms, in Aussie dollar terms, the returns are good. It explains why even with the moderation that we've seen, particularly in iron ore in the second half of the financial year, has happened, it hasn't actually materialized into a very rapid decline in the share price. It's certainly down, but not as bad. FMG is the same case. Then you look at coal, Rio, BHP, and then you look at Whitehaven, New Hope, etc. They're all at the moment trying to fight through that transition. They know met coal will always be front and center and will remain quite a player in the global space going forward, but thermal coal has been all over the shop, and it's been a very good financial 2022 for thermal coal, not so much in FY23. So watch what a Whitehaven or New Hope do around this space. I mean, it's moderated again. It's starting to sort of show signs of maybe even picking up, but in not saying the story around coal that was in the post-COVID era is probably over, and where it goes from here is the next question. It therefore does mean that if you do get involved in that space, you are going to be tied up with fluctuations of thermal coal and therefore have a very good understanding of what China is doing. Finally, copper. This is like the white knight in bulks. If you listen to what Rio are trying to sell you at the moment, they believe that it is absolutely to the moon kind of stuff. And they're talking about Otogo and what's going on in Mongolia for good reason. Then you listen to them and also BHP around Escondida in Chile, and they're telling you that copper is there. That's very well and good, and that is true. But it's called Dr. Copper for a reason. And Dr. Copper is telling you that the slowdown globally is on, and therefore the demand of copper in the short term is going to be hard to argue. So all of that, put that together, is forward guidance. Yes, they're going to be all right numbers for FY23, but what does FY24 look like for these firms? And that's the key point, looking at what goes on in the bulk space and why their earnings numbers will be more about the forecast forward rather than the actuals backwards.